few months, haven't they, together? The 17s from Malaysia take on Thailand's Kedren and Dechapon Puavaranukroh. Will be promoted from the reserves. Winner will play Kair and Sogor next. They beat Hess and Seidel in the first round.
Men's doubles from Malaysia, qualified under Izzuddin.
Malaysian pair in first.
Thailand, Kedren and Puavaranukroh. Umpire for one, Denmark.
And then this pairing has been reunited. Kedren and Dechapon Puavaranukroh. They first played together back in 2012. They went all the way till 2018. First meeting between these pairs. Sorry, 2019. And so after they did play once together, the Thomas and Uber Cup finals in 2021. Otherwise, it's been more than 5 years since they played together.
Who will receive? Yeah, what side? This side.
Kedren's usual partner, Supak Jomko. These two played together last week at the Arctic Open. Through the qualification all the way to the semis. Astrup and Rasmussen beat them there. But we'll talk about that in a while. Here's Godse, 27 years of age, from Malacca in Malaysia. Southern part of the country. Playing at their best ever ranking. We'll tell you why in a short while. Asian Championships, they got a silver. That was sort of the turning point for them. They got bronze in 2022. Izzuddin is 26. He's from right down south of the country, Johor. 175 centimeters tall. And they've won 7 titles together. 3 this year alone. Japan Open, the Super 750. China Open, the Super 1000. And the Arctic Open last week. Super 500. Very, very impressive. Given that they weren't even perhaps meant to be together anymore. There was talk of a breakup. Kedren is 28, 163 centimeters tall from the south of the country, Songkhla. Current ranking is 202. That's, of course, because they've just got back together again. His highest ranking was 16 with Supak Jomko, which was just a few months ago. Dechapon Puavaranukroh is 27 years of age, from Chonburi, further up the country. His highest ranking was with the man he's playing with now, 21. With Kedren, that was back in July of 2017. He's been focusing, of course, on mixed doubles with subsidiary Tara Tanachai, who is now playing with Supak Jomko. Christian Hedlund is our Danish umpire. Seamus Halpin is the Irish service judge. Interesting here with the kind of dichotomy of our two pairings, Chris, with Izzuddin and Godse. I think they'd already broken up last year, got back together, and there was murmurings of them perhaps looking to break up again. And all of a sudden it's changed, and then here you've got an old pairing that have been brought back together. Interesting stories.
Definitely, and you know, the Malaysians, these two gentlemen on our screen now, what a story for them. In the space of probably 4 months, they've gone from obviously leaving BAM, which is a complicated thing in regards to now everything's up to them, and finding their own sponsors for the first time. Obviously, you can see their new sponsor, which is Victor, and all of a sudden kind of coming to light. And you're totally right. They split up and they made it quite apparent they weren't, you know, they didn't get on brilliantly. But they've come back together and, wow, you know, like a rejuvenated pair.
Sometimes it's,
on my right,
it's what you miss when you're not together.
Thailand.
But, I mean, talk about a stunning few months as well. You win the China Open, a Super 1000. You win the Japan Open, a Super 750. You beat the world champions in the final. Then you beat Astrup and Rasmussen, isn't it? In the
Arctic Open final last week.
Last week. It's...
Play.
Well, we're in the... Oh, beautifully done by Puavaranukroh. We're in the land of Hans Christian Andersen. This really is a fairy tale story, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a different way, you know, I say this, but there's always a different way to look at everything. And for them, they're on cloud 9 at the moment because they are. They're the most informed men's doubles pair in the world. I would say it's the most open event out of all the events. There's no pair that I would say is dominant or playing to a very high level on a consistent basis. They're proving themselves to be, you know, up there with the very, very best of them. And they're 10 matches now unbeaten, which is very, very impressive. Do they feel the pressure in this match, or do they just ride the wave of confidence? And it'll be interesting to see how, not just this match, but if they do win this match, how the tournament progresses for them.
Well, what about the tie pairing?
Again, really interesting. Like, for me as a you know, fan of badminton, I really hope that they continue to play together because they can do some incredible stuff. And I saw a bit of it last week, and some of the stuff they did was a little bit unorganised, but really effective.
Got to the semis.
Yeah, I mean, semi-final, your first tournament for, you're talking...
They haven't played together in five years, I think. The last time they played together was 2019. They had one match together in 21.
Okay. So you're talking incredible. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, 10 years ago they were world junior champions.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Still.
But it's an exciting pair, and I'm sure for Kedren, he'll probably be quite thankful playing with his old partner again, just because they've got that dynamic and that understanding, and already showing their level from last week. Very, very impressive semi-final first tournament back is really impressive.
Interesting for Puavaranukroh, of course, who's been focusing on mixed and been very successful at it as well.
Brilliant there from Go. And talking of Go, I have to say that the integral points last week when they were in that final match, the last few points, I think they were 19-18 down. Go was absolutely outrageous with the last kind of 3 points of the match that he played. He was everywhere, dominant, playing the right shots. Not taking anything away from his partner, Izzuddin, who also obviously played incredibly well, but Go is really proving himself as one of the very best netmen in the world.
They beat Malaysians in that men's doubles.
Service over.
Southeast Asian Games. On Yusin and Tioyi. Kedren and Puavaranukroh. And
brilliant return of serve.
6-3.
Big thing so far, the pair from Thailand haven't really had the attack, haven't really had many long rallies. Brilliant attack.
Just in, yep.
And this is the job of Kedren, to get his partner the attack. Kedren, for me, is definitely the net man. He's got nice touch. He's good when he comes forward, and we've seen how good Dechpo is in being the rear court player in a mixed doubles, and he'll operate a similar way in the men's doubles.
As is the case, been quite a lot of the time here with the pairing on this near end. I've seen the shuttle hold up. Is it a case, Chris, of just playing it, just so that you're not having in that situation where you misjudge it?
it's hard because obviously you don't want to take it when it's going out, but it's much harder to judge because the shuttle just starts to slow down and then it almost dies, just the way the shuttle travels on that arc. So when it's coming against the wind, it kind of stops quicker. But here, Dechapol giving a bit of a masterclass of how good he actually is at men's doubles. This is obviously an area that will be very peculiar for him. He doesn't serve there in mixed doubles. It's showing he's just a really good badminton player.
Well wide there from Noor.
8-6. Service over.
Very, very quick. This is going at the moment. That clips the line.
8-0.
Brilliant.
Practically put away by Kedren.
Yeah, and Kedren there, he did really well because he gets the lift, he gets the attack, which he's supposed to do. And then his partner, Dechapol, does his job there, and then Kedren's really alert, great cutout. And then fairly easy there, put away. Fantastic flick serve. Slight advantage of somebody like Kedren does, who's not one of the taller players with the new service rule. He can just have it just that little bit higher. And I do think his serve can be quite deceptive.
Tell you what, he's putting a fair whack into that, isn't he? Kedren.
11-8 interval.
The power wins there, 11-8. Remember, the Malaysians were quite comfortable at one stage.
มันหยุดตลอดอ่ะมันบีบหน้ามันไม่ทิ้ง
รับ30แล้วก็6ปักเข้าใจได้อยู่นะเอาเล่นเกมเรา
So the umpire here is just delaying the play because unfortunately there's been some blood spotted on the floor, which could just be from a cut or something of the sort. So they're just coming on to make sure the blood is removed from the court.
He's just asking the players, are you okay? Does anywhere spot some blood? Yeah, I can see it quite clearly there.
As crazy as it sounds, you can easily get a very, very small cut on your knuckle or, you know, a joint on your hand, and the constant clenching of your fist.
Well, there's a couple of spots here.
I think this is the interesting thing about men's doubles at the moment for me. It's such an open event. You've got a partnership that are kind of just starting, you know, second tournament for a long, long time, and against probably the most informed pair in the world. And it looks even. You know, you wouldn't know that one pair is kind of just starting out again, as it were, and the other pair is the most informed pair in the world. We'd say it's a very even game, two of the best pairs in the world. So this is why I think for the pair from Thailand, it'd be great for the badminton fans if they do continue this partnership. Because I can only see them getting better and better.
Right.
With, you know, the more they actually play together again. You know, it's been years and years since Dechapol's played men's doubles, and yes, it's a similar event, but it's very, very different to mixed
11,
doubles.
8.
Did you think that the Sapsiree Dechapol partnership was maybe beginning to wane then in the mixed doubles?
Well, I still believe they'll come back together. They'll almost do a little bit what China. Brilliant there from Kedren, and he's playing his role exactly right.
12.
But I do think Thailand will do a little bit what they did with Hong Hwa Chong and Zheng Siwei, where they split them up for a little bit and then brought them back together.
And they came back with a vengeance.
Yep, exactly. And again, this is the thing. So Kedren so far, he's doing his job exactly as he should. He's getting the lift, he's getting the attack for his partner. Whenever he gets the chance, he's stepping forward. But he's got so much confidence in his partner. He's doing it so composed that it's working perfectly.
Mm.
And at the moment, I've got to be honest, it's kind of one-way traffic.
It is.
Pair from Thailand are far superior at the moment, getting the attack a lot more. So I made that comment where they weren't really getting the attack, and since then, it's like they heard. You know, they made a massive difference in getting the attack a lot more.
15.
Seen a few uncharacteristic mistakes from the Malaysians, but if we think back to the Arctic Open in the first round, they played a pair from Denmark, who the winner of this match will actually play.
Yeah.
And Sogard and Kjær. And to be honest, the Malaysians could easily have lost. If I'm totally honest, they could have lost in almost every round. But they managed to find a way.
Right.
Will they turn this first game around? It's definitely not over. It's 15-9. There's still a long way to go.
15.
They were 3-5 down. It's been 12-4 since then in the favor of the Thais.
Please welcome the technical officials to court number 3.
Brilliant.
10, 15.
And I did think, is fatigue also going to play a part in this match? Because last week, the pair from Malaysia were on court for 6 hours and 9 minutes in the tournament, which is just a long time compared to, if you take Kedren as an example, who was on court for 3 hours and 40 minutes. Yes, he lost in the semi-final and didn't play the extra game, but it's still a very, very big difference.
But they had a qualification match, so they played the same number of matches.
Yeah, correct.
Service over. 16.
Which just goes to show you, as you said, they had a lot of close matches.
They really did, yeah. There was only one game that wasn't, you know, nip and tuck, as it were. It was pretty much first game, the quarterfinal, semi-final, the final. All those games they actually could have lost.
Oh,
Service over.
snatched up by Puavaranukroh.
16.
Trying to embark on a run of their own at the moment.
Maybe a little bit of fortune there from the pair from Thailand
11.
to have ended up winning that point, because Kedren was in all sorts of trouble if that had come over there. There's no way. This one here, if Kedren could have got that, that would have been a little bit of magic to get that back. Great attack.
Service over.
Also great work together in that rally from the Malaysians, setting each other up. And it's something they're so good at.
17.
They work so well together. Which is quite strange, and, you know, going back to the point that maybe they don't see things in the same light, which is normal, but the way they play on court, they do. You know, they were almost made for each other.
Service over.
Yeah, Malaysia, they're
18,
gushing
12.
over this turn in fortune for these two. And they are now being considered for the Road to Gold program.
Service over.
Saw flashes of what they could do at the Thomas Cup. And they haven't really looked back since.
It's fantastic defense in that rally from the Malaysians. You've got to be careful that don't get a little bit passive or complacent on the defense. They've got a great defense. They move the shuttle around so well, but sometimes I feel they almost soak it up just a little bit too much.
Oh,
Brilliant.
wonderfully done by Dechapon.
I've got to say, Dechapol, he's so good at... There's the times where he puts himself in trouble, where he maybe injects too much pace in the mid, but it's not actually an issue because he's so good at covering himself. And obviously that is from mixed doubles, where maybe he has to cover just a little bit more. That he's so calm and composed in that situation, whereas I'd say a lot of other players would get stressed or snatch or put themselves in further trouble, but he's so good at getting himself out of trouble. Brilliant again. And I do think the Malaysians are really struggling when Kedren's serving is so tight.
Seven game points here. Ties have looked so impressive.
21-13.
Couple of fantastic run of points. Saw them surge past their opponents very comfortably in the end, you'd have to say. 21-13. Kedren and Puavaranukroh against Go and Nur Izzuddin.
นั่งไม้ลูกอะไปเขี่ยไปไหนลูกไปไหนนี่ไปไหนเข้าใจปะนี่ตายปุ๊บลูกมันเหี่ยวเลยนะครับงั้นเซตเลยเตรียมตัวให้ดีนะเตรียมตัวให้ดีนะ
เรียกขาวอ่ะมันยกมาอย่างเดียว
ฮะ
ระวังเลย
ไอ้ขาวว่างเหรอ
ไอ้ขาวอ่ะแม่งมันแหนเดียว
เล่นอยู่เลยแม่งไม่ความตัวนี้กว่าแบบดูชีวิตใกล้แบบ因为如果当因为是为手没力打在里面，一移动我们也是，所以这一球当那什么当先走他先，对，然后下来看到这样，没拿选手给他一个拿给，然后你把自己不讲，我们的实力就讲，该打他抓这一点，他手直接了。
Now, Chris, you've said that Kedren and Puavaranukroh are getting back together can be exciting because they're just a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, because they're really good at changing the speed or the pace within the rally itself. I mean, Kedren, I've got to give it to him in that first game. He did his job so well of moving forward, being the net player, getting the attack. And on the serve situation, he was very good. And I think Dechapol does so well is he's so good at kind of covering himself in regards to if he puts too much pace in it, it doesn't matter. He can cover himself and he's so quick.
Service over.
Oh,
very
nice
good
done.
defense there.
Yeah.
Love. Service over. 1-all.
Goran Noor got to the semi-finals here in 2021. Eliminated in the first round last year. Kedren has never gone past the second round. That was back in 2016 with his current partner.
2-1.
Fantastic
Oh,
return.
wonderful.
Service over. 2-all.
Go, he is a very skillful player. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of skill. I think that's where Kedren possibly just forgot about that drift.
2.
Yeah, this is their end now. They're going to have to take all that into account.
Service over. 3-all. Four, 3.
Super quick the points have been in this second game. Mind you, the first game overall was fairly fast as well.
Service over.
That shows quite how quick it was in that situation. Kedren was stretched, out of balance, out of position, and to be able to, you know, push the shuttle out by as much as he did, it does show the drift is reasonable.
Oof. Kedren there.
5-4.
It's one of the first mistakes he's made at the net. He's been really good so far at the net.
Oh, shake of the head from him.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
5.
And I would say over the last 12, maybe sort of 16, 18 months, Kedren has improved a lot. I remember seeing him a couple of years ago, and I think he just struggled to put everything together. But as of late, since seeing him with his old partner, Dechapol, I don't know, it's something's different. It's more belief. Like just that rally then, he was composed in defence, he was in loads of trouble, but he didn't try anything too much. And sometimes it just takes that. It takes that little bit extra confidence that you have maybe in your partner or something that feels you're comfortable with because they used to play together. Obviously, it also helps Dechapol's one of the best players in the world.
Service over. 6-5.
He's now paired with Supisada Puavaranukroh, isn't he? In the mixed doubles.
I don't think there's a lot of players in the mixed doubles category right now that are not playing men's doubles that could kind of click their fingers and instantly, you know, transform into a men's doubles player quite so smoothly.
Only one other man immediately comes to mind, world champion.
5.
Seo Seung-jae, who's won it twice, or 2 medals or other at the world champs.
Service over.
I would say though he's got the big advantage that obviously he's already playing both events.
7.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a, you know, if there's a player who's just playing mixed right now,
And then switches.
exactly.
Yeah.
To be fair, maybe there is.
Well placed. Dechapol Puavaranukroh.
7-all.
Sounds like you're quite excited about this pairing and the potential that they've got.
100%, you know, like I said it, men's doubles for me is 100% the most open event out of all the 5 categories, just because there's no one dominating. You've got pairs that are doing quite well consistently. The good example is Kim and Anders. You know, consistently they're doing great, and so they're 2 in the world. Sorry, they've actually dropped down to 3 in the world. But, you know, they're right up there. But there's no pair that's... Most other categories, there was a pair or pairs or players that were doing very, very well on a regular basis. And, you know, world ranking points, they might be miles ahead, whatever.
That's not really the case, is it?
Not at all. I'd say, you know, probably anyone in the top 16 in the world in men's doubles has a realistic chance of making a semi or winning a high caliber tournament.
And these two
9.
are at the moment
7.
the top, what, 202 now? But they'll skyrocket up now.
Fly up. I mean, you know, 10 years ago they were the best in the world as juniors.
Yeah.
And maybe when they were seniors, they never quite turned into that. I mean, I remember actually, makes me sound old, playing them. And, you know, there was obviously promise, but I don't think that promise ever actually transpired into what it could be until Dechpo obviously then became a mixed doubles player and he showed how good he can be. Wow, that was well read.
It's over.
But it'll be interesting if this partnership's allowed to continue, or if it does continue, can they become as good as they were, you know, supposed to become as juniors into seniors?
Out.
Fall short.
It's over. 10-8. Interval.
So we go into the interval with the ties. Have a 3-point lead here, and they've already taken the first game. It's looking fairly good for them at the moment.
ตบแล้วสุดแล้วมันก็เทิร์นมาเร็วเลยแค่แมทเรื่องอะไรตบเร็วปุ๊บเตรียมต่อตบเร็วปุ๊บเตรียมต่อก็จะเป็นสำคัญตรงนี้เรื่องอะไรแล้วจังหวะดีๆอย่าไปทิ้งทวนเคาะลงไปก็ได้นู่นลงไปก็ได้มันต้องการการคิดต้องการการตีไม่ต้องการมั่วเข้าใจป่ะเองขึ้นเขาเข้าสู่จุดลูกจุดตีลูกให้ดีนะมันต้องเข้าสู่จุดตีลูกเพราะลูกควบคุมได้
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. On court. No. Eleven, 8. Play. Service over. 9.
That's much better for
11.
the Malaysians. More intensity. Hunting the shuttle. I don't know, it feels like it's almost been a little bit complacent so far. Just a little bit they expect to be winning. Wow. Not many people that read go serve that well. It's been
12.
very successful with that because he's got, it's almost no action, his flicks. Really hard to read, but someone like Dechpo, he can do stuff that other players can't do. Brilliant again from Kedren at the net.
13-9.
This would be another massive upset if they could manage to find a kind of a way to continue on this path, the pair from Thailand.
Fault.
In terms of rankings, that would be...
14.
I know 202 isn't necessarily a fair effect, but still, to get back together, second tournament against the informed pair of the world.
Yeah. At the moment, it's just too easy.
I mean, Chris, I was just about to say,
15.
looking at these scores right now, it's very comfortable.
Yeah, it is. And it's going to be hard for the Malaysians to turn this round. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of a miracle now because...
9.
You did also mention one of the mitigating reasons is these guys have played double the amount of time that the Thais have played in the past week.
Yeah, and there's, you know, there's definite fatigue in there. There's also
17-9.
in the back of their minds, can they keep pushing their bodies? They could even be carrying a slight niggle because obviously playing for 6 hours in a tournament, it is a lot. And over the last, you know, since Olympics, they have played quite a few tournaments and they have done well, which means obviously you play more and more games. And
9.
more games you play, amazing ranking points, financial and confidence. But then on the negative is you're putting your body through a lot of kind of stress, as it were.
Service over. 10-18.
Brilliant defense.
11,
just feels like
18.
could be a little bit too late.
Twelve, 18.
Coming a bit late, perhaps, as you said.
I do feel the whole game has just been a little bit flat, kind of all round. It's I haven't kind of seen that energy from anyone, really.
You think even the Thais?
Yeah.
Service over. 19-12.
I guess to them it's all work because it's been very comfortable so far.
Service over. 13-19.
Well, it could be a good deep run again for Kedren and Puavaranukroh in this tournament.
Brilliant.
Service over.
Emphatic.
Malaysians as well, their attack is a bit too central, and the pair from Thailand have been
20,
so good at just whipping it
point 13.
to make the rear core player move from Malaysia.
Well, 7 match points. It's all done and dusted. What a great win that is. And this reunited pair of Puavaranukroh and Kedren, 202 in the world, have just had a superb win against the informed pair in men's doubles.
Match won by
number 8 pairing in the world. Fantastic result.
21-13, 21-13.
Well, they're absolutely delighted with that. And a fine run of unbeaten matches for the Malaysian pair comes to an end. So, Kitanipon Kedren and Dechapon Puavaranukroh have been promoted from the reserves. They beat Gotsufe and Izzuddin, the 7 seeds from Malaysia, 21-13, 21-13. It's taken them just 32 minutes to do it.
welcome back to Odense. And first round action here at the